Oh, hello there.
Hello there, sir.
I didn't see you come in. That was so bad.
How's it going? I was really confused what you were doing there for a second. I did not understand. But hello, ladies and gentlemen. How we doing?
Hey, happy Friday to everybody that's jumping on here. If you are, awesome. If you aren't, you're missing out because we got some updates for you guys. MJ, how you doing? How you holding up over there?
I'm a little chilly, I'll be perfectly honest. Winds coming out of the north at like 15, 20 miles an hour today. It's a crisp 55 degrees, which I will always take in January, being from Chicago, because I'm used to it being 0. So I will take 55 and sunny every day of the week. Because look at this. I got clear blue skies. I've already used up all my words for the day, so today will be interesting. But I'm having a great time. I'm ready for the game tomorrow.
Dude, that's awesome. Honestly, God, I can't wait. And today was kind of like a rest day for the players, right?
Give or take, yeah. They had a light workout this morning, and then each team had their official walkthrough that was closed to the media, so they could work on anything they didn't want the other teams to see, iron out just a few little kinks before they got to the official game. But yeah, I mean, they had like a really slow no-pad walkthrough for like 30 minutes. So nothing crazy. I believe the American team is actually finishing up theirs right now. If I look, they've got about 3 minutes left, I think, on the clock. So they're
getting trick plays ready.
They actually, so it's funny you say that, because the national team yesterday, they opened up their practice with fake field goals as my camera just decides to absolutely yeet itself.
Okay, we're live.
Yeah, so the national team opened up yesterday's practice with fake field goals. So I don't know if Graham and company are going to pull that out, but if I'm Luke Getzey, I need to be on the prowl for the fake field goals.
Gotta be ready. Gotta be ready.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No, I know. Last night we had an opportunity to talk about a lot of people, a lot of guys that are flying the
Yes.
ground boards and making impacts at the Senior Bowl. So one player in particular that I'm absolutely loving right now is Osiris Torrance, the guard from Florida. I ended up
Yes.
talking to you about him in our chat and like when we were like texting back and forth, or whatever. Only
Yes.
guard in Florida history to be an unanimous All-American or consensus All-American. Excuse me. Huge.
Yes.
The guy is an absolute beast. What do you got on him? What have you been hearing? What's going on?
So the impressive part about um, him is realistically he could play tackle, and I think I've said this to you. And I've said this to a couple other people, and their response was, "I don't want him playing tackle," which I totally understand. But here's the thing: he has a unique size and speed. He's one of the top 10 fastest O linemen here at the Senior Bowl. He has one of the best acceleration, and he has the size to be a dominant guard. Now, in terms of footwork, in terms of his actual play on the line, it's been pretty solid this week. The only thing that I think you pointed out to me that I was able to see in person, he overextends just a little bit in the running game. That's really the only thing that I would be particularly worried about for him. He's incredible in pass protection. You're not going to blow by him. You're not going to blow through him. Really, the only thing is just holding his block in the run game. But I did see him improve on that throughout the week. And I'll give a shout out to the Packers and Bears offensive line units that are here at the Senior Bowl. I saw them specifically working him on that, and he has improved. So he has the ability to improve on that. It's just there weren't a lot of long developing runs in Florida that he had to hold that block for 3-4 seconds. In the NFL, you're going to have some of those. You're going to have longer developing plays than you do in college. So it's something that he'll have to work on. But in terms of somebody that could be a plug and play, especially on a Bears offensive line, Bruce, that isn't incredible, or really on any offensive line, I really do think if you put him at that guard spot day one, he'll be better than replacement level.
So, by the way, Jack was in the chat, or is in the chat, and he's saying MJ's out here doing a live traffic report.
Literally. Yeah, so we've got some light traffic going through here. This gate is going to be closed tomorrow, so if you want to, you can actually go around. Entries 1 through 8 are on the south side of the stadium.
You know what's hilarious is I actually was saying
I can do it all, Bruce.
You were like a meteorologist a little bit there. You like blue skies and everything, and then now you're doing traffic.
Blue skies, 55 degrees, 15-mile-an-hour winds out of the northwest. I can do it all, Bruce. I can do sports. I can do weather. I didn't even need to be on TV, but here we are.
Oh my God, I love it. All right, so moving on now. Moving on, and by the way, I would love the Bears to actually have Osiris Torrance on their team. They need another tackle. I would love for them to get they need another guard.
They need tackles too, but yeah.
Well, true, but I would love for them to grab him and replace Cody Whitehair with him, because I think that'd be a good idea for them to do. But
Sure.
be that as it may, I know this guy, the next guy we're going to talk about, you've been super excited about. He's logged the most yards, I think, at the Senior Bowl.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think he's definitely making a name for himself. Kind of a smaller in stature player, however, absolutely. I don't want to use the word reckless, because I think it has too many negative connotations behind it. But he runs with a certain fierceness about him.
Absolutely.
And that man is Tyjae Spears. So can you speak about Tyjae Spears a little bit?
So when we were talking pre-show, Bruce, I wholeheartedly believe, and I don't think this is negative, and if somebody thinks it is, then you can screw off, because I'll spin it the right way. Tyjae Spears runs with reckless abandon.
Reckless.
I don't mean that in a bad way whatsoever, and here's why. I've watched Aaron Jones of the Green Bay Packers for the last 3 years just run like a chicken with his head cut off, like he has no idea where he's going, and somehow that man always gets 6 yards. He has one of the highest yards per carry in the NFL, ever. Aaron Jones is top 5 in the NFL ever in yards per carry for his minimum qualification. And so when I stand here and say that Tyjae Spears runs with the reckless abandon that Aaron Jones has, that is absolutely a compliment. and not a negative thing whatsoever. The man is fast, the man is explosive, and he's not the best in pass protection, which is okay because he's most likely going to be a first and second down back, or he's going to be receiving out of the backfield. I don't think there are many situations where Tyjae Spears is sitting in there taking an cover zero blitz. Like, I just don't think that's going to happen. He's not going to be the guy to step in there and hold his own against a blitzing linebacker, but the thing is he's willing to. I've seen it in pass protection. He took on Servatia Dennis. He took on plenty of guys that are very large and very quick. He took on Pace Jr., and he didn't shy away from it. Now, he doesn't have the best technique in pass protection. He doesn't have the size to do it. But the same way that Aaron Jones will step in and take any hit for Aaron Rodgers like he's taking a charge from LeBron James, Tyjae Spears will do the same thing, and then when you need him on first down to get 5 yards, he will. When you need him on third down to get a quick out route and beat any linebacker, he probably will, because we have some incredibly fast linebackers here, Bruce, that are running at over 20 miles an hour, and Tyjae Spears has dusted them. And there was a specific play that made me fall in love with him. He's running an out route against Servatia Dennis, and I truly believe that it was planned to be an out route because I saw Jake Haener pump fake, and there was no reason for a pump fake. I never saw them do a planned pump fake on any play. He pump fakes out to the left like he's going to throw, and then he sees Spears dip all the way under Dennis and just leaves him in the dust.
That's awesome.
So the explosive ability this man has, I think I said this last night, it's an incredibly deep class. But I truly think that Spears has the explosive ability. I don't know how much longevity he might bring in the NFL, but in terms of immediate impact, in terms of just the wow factor, this kid is going to be special.
I like it, man. I like that. So I'll speak to the negative and that's regards to the pass blocking. I did see some tape from practice about him getting hit. He was getting blown up in pass protection, but that's not the reason. Sure. That's not the reason why you draft a guy like that, though. You're going to draft that guy because he's going to be that scat back that's going to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield, make something happen on a screen pass, or you might even put him in on punt return. I can totally see that happening too.
And for sure,
flying past everybody. So no, I would. That's definitely a guy that I would consider from a special team standpoint and a change of pace type back that could be help any offense in the NFL right now. So no, man.
Real quick, Bruce. Sorry to cut you off, but to second that. He did all week line up on special teams. He was on the kickoff coverage, and he was one of the punt returners. So he is somebody that will absolutely add value to special teams. He did that when he was at Tulane, more so on the punt return side. But yeah, if you want somebody who can impact special teams and offense right away, he absolutely can do that.
No, I love it. I think that I totally agree. Jack, I don't know if you see Jack's comment. I don't know if you can see it, but he said so he's going to be a Patriot.
I think he would be fantastic in that Patriot system. I would hate it because I think he might get handicapped a little bit, to be perfectly honest. But if you went back to like the old Josh McDaniels offense in like 2014 when Jonas Gray was getting 4 touchdowns in a single game, then I think Spears would have excelled fantastically in that.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, man. So before we move on to the last two guys that we want to showcase in our short little 20-minute show that we're doing,
yes.
We definitely have to give a shout out real quick.
I'm good. Keep going.
To our sponsor. You good with that? You good?
Yes, absolutely. Erie Insurance, let's go.
In situations like this, it's great to have insurance. And what better insurance to go through than our guys over at Building Block Insurance.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent is Building Block Insurance Group. Get a quote today at 704-464-4544.
Erie Insurance.
And when you call or email Jeff or Tepney at jeff@mybebig.com or call him at 704-464-4544, 4544. Let him know that Third Down Thursday sent you. MJ, did the wind calm down a little bit for you, buddy?
Yeah, hypothetically. The wind calmed down. I believe there's a cop watching me record right now, which is interesting. So if I have to run away real quick.
Well,
why.
I mean, it's funny too because I'm at work now and I hear like people are talking outside my office and things like that, which is like,
oh yeah,
because I'm sure they're listening to like who the hell is he talking to. But anyway, all right, man. So so we're gonna add a little local flavor to this right now, okay?
Yes.
With that local flavor, this gentleman was named Defensive Lineman, Practice Lineman of the Week.
Yes.
And the coolest part about this award that he received, it was voted on by his peers. He went to Northwestern out in Evanston. Northwestern's getting a lot of love despite
they really are.
The lack of wins. They're producing individual talent, which is awesome. And this gentleman that I speak about right now, I hope I'm not mispronouncing it again, but Ade Adeboah.
Ade Adeboah.
You
were close.
My bad.
Yes. So just to add to that, Bruce, what makes that award even cooler is it's not just voted on by his peers, it's voted on by the guys he was going against. Yep. So the O linemen voted for the defensive lineman of the week. And the DBs voted for the wide receiver of the week. And so it's not just your fellow defensive lineman voting for you saying, okay, I guess he was the best.
Right.
It was, hey, this is the dude that busted my butt all week. I'm giving it to him.
I think that's awesome, though. And to make a comment to that, though, I think that's perfectly okay to have an award like that because who better to judge it than the guys that are going up against him?
The guys that he was literally pile driving all week. Yeah, absolutely.
That's great. That's great. So, so can you give me a little bit about him? Did you watch it? Did you get a chance to really watch him a lot of the
Oh yeah. So I got a chance to watch him. I got a chance to talk to him. I talked to him after practice yesterday. We talked about food some, which we already said on the show last night. Which I do love, being a Chicago guy, talking to my Chicago boys. But the one thing he did mention specifically that he prides himself the most on is his motor. And what he means by that, for those of you who aren't, necessarily obsessed with football, obsessed with the draft process and knows what that means, it really just means that for defensive linemen, a lot of the time they can't play every snap. They can't play all three downs. They're not versatile enough to play all three downs. They get too tired. They have to be swapped out. That's why we talk about defensive lineman depth so much. Adeboah prides himself on the fact that he can play every technique along the line. He can play 3-tech. He can play inside. He also believes he can rush the pass on the outside if he needs to, even though he's 6 foot 300 plus. And I will say he is just an impressive athlete because he really does, Bruce. And I don't want to put this pressure on him, but if I had to, in this scenario, pick a comparison, compared to all of the talent that's here, he really looked like an Aaron Donald type.
Wow!
That can just move along the inside of the line. And obviously, I'm not saying and putting the pressure on him that he'll be Aaron Donald in the NFL, but compared to the other athletes here at the Senior Bowl, he was able, from guard to guard on the inside, and even beating double teams of a guard and a tackle, he was fluently able to take on anyone on the line with very little issue. And honestly, he went against Jared Patterson of Notre Dame a couple times. And back-to-back snaps, because they were doing 2 in a row. They did regular one-on-ones for the first 2 days. Yesterday, they were doing back-to-back. So you went against the same guy twice in a row, back-to-back. And the first time, he pushed Patterson back about 5-8 yards, right? Patterson shoves him off. They start talking smack. The next one, you can see Adeboah is pissed off because he sprints back there and he gets on the line and down ready in his 3-tech stance before Patterson is even on the line. And he's just staring at him. And Bruce, when I tell you that he pushed him back 15 yards straight into the goalpost, this man got humiliated in front of the entire stadium. And I don't mean that as any diss at Patterson. It really just is how incredible Adeboah is. Literally, I don't have enough good things to say about him. I think specifically in the passing game, he'll be incredible. On the run game, obviously, he's going to use all of those things to his advantage. The only thing he might have an issue with is a little bit of setting the edge. Possibly if he does play a little bit more outside. If he's got somebody, like when he was playing next to Foskey, if Foskey really went after the quarterback or something, Adebawore did do a fantastic job of getting to the outside and replacing Foskey on the edge if he did overextend.
Yeah.
So just some of that situational awareness, being able to react to what your guys around you are doing on the outside. But other than that, incredible physical talent, great guy. Can't say enough good things about him.
Love it. I love it, dude. And the last guy, there might be controversy in Iowa with U of I fans trying to buy tickets to basketball games. But sure as hell isn't controversy with this young man making a transition. And that person is Riley Moss changing positions at the Senior Bowl. MJ, give some talk about this defensive back from Iowa.
So Riley Moss, it's pretty logical. The reason that he was projected as a safety is because he sits at about 6 foot, 6'1", between 185 and 195. He really is a safety build. More the cover safety than the playing in the box safety, because he does have the speed to be a really good cover safety. But he just didn't get the run really at Iowa as a defensive back, and so coming into the week, both the national team and the American team did a really good job of saying, hey, if you want to play a different position, we're all for it. So my guy Cody from North Dakota State played every position on the offensive line for the national team. And then on the defensive side, Riley Moss said, hey, when we get to these ones, when we're going against the wide receivers, I want to go against the receivers. I don't want to go against the tight ends because I know I can beat the tight ends. I'm not worried about that. He said, I want to go against the receivers. And Bruce, when I tell you that this man did not lose a one-on-one all week, 3 days of practice, he went against the wide receivers, posted, I believe, the second fastest top speed time of any DB when he came into the week listed as a safety. And now he's just straight up listed as DB. And I think it's incredible because he has absolutely risen his draft stock, because you can't deny now that if you want him to play as a safety, he'll play as a safety, but also, hey, just to let you know, I can play as a DB. So I'm really interested to see what he does at the Combine, where he wants to list himself, what group he wants to be a part of, because he could be absolutely the fastest safety at the Combine if you wanted to. If you want to get drafted a little higher, he could go with those DBs, and if he shows out at the Combine against all of the top DBs, then he could really make a name for himself.
I love it. Just a quick correction, though. He ended up being the third fastest DB there.
I knew he was the second at one point, but still, that's incredibly impressive. Out of all of these super fast guys, for somebody who came into the week listed as a safety, to be the third fastest DB, that's just fantastic.
No, I agree 100%, and I can't wait to see what he does at the NFL Combine. Well, before we decide to run our last favorite commercial, MJ.
Yes.
Alan, do you have any final thoughts before tomorrow's game?
I'm just really excited. Hopefully, I'm going to make my way to the press box tomorrow, depending on how quickly I get here compared to everybody else. I'm excited for the game. It's 1:30 p.m. Central Time on NFL Network. For those of you who aren't down here in Mobile. So you can watch the whole game. And I'm just really excited because there's been so many great players to come through here. And obviously we have no idea who's going to succeed in the NFL and who isn't. But I think there's a really good chance tomorrow, Bruce, that I'm watching in person some of the next stars of the NFL. And that's just so cool.
I agree, man. I agree. Well, I can't tell you how awesome you did this whole week out there. And,
thank you.
Keeping me apprised of everything. And I appreciate your hard work. And before we I gotta put this up real quick. One of our guys, one of our regulars. Happy Friday,
yes.
MJ, Coach Bruce. Let's ride.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. Well, good shit. I'll definitely stay in touch, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next time. Possibly, maybe tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. All right, guys. MJ, good shit. Awesome stuff. And for the final time, potentially this week, our favorite commercial, our guy, the car guy. Hey, MJ.
Yes. Yes.
Have a great day.
Hello. Bye-bye.